Hello, hello. It's a couch with a cushion, a blanket, because of course it is. About 2 people can recall that some time ago I did a video on a Miss Pac-Man plug-and-play thing which looked like this. And then sometime afterwards I did a Frogger plug-and-play thing of the similar type which looked like this. Will not go left at all. Also, the Frogger one didn't work, so the joystick was broken. And I sort of alluded to another game that was also packaged in a similar fashion, and I kind of dreaded wondering how that would function. But fortunately, I couldn't find that in stores locally, so I was... let's say I was spared that particular thing. But one day I had a fit of insanity. I found it on Amazon and I ordered it. And hence, well, we have the Mega Man 2 plug-and-play thing. Mega Man 2 from Win Fun and MSI Entertainment. Warning, choking hazard. Small parts not for children under 3 years. Yep, so it's got that, it's the same kind of design. The buttons, and the layouts kind of changed a bit. You got the artwork from Rockman 2. Plug-and-play TV game. For a true retro feel, play it on a CRT television. Because it's only AV composite. Mono. Because of course it is. Anyways, that's the front of the box. That's the size of the box. Same artwork. Some screenshots. Pretty sure the quality of the screenshots are better than what you're going to get out of the actual device. In any event, we got some text here. He's back. This time you'll... I assume you can read all that. That's one. Anyways, it's pretty much the same text that you would find on a boxed copy of Mega Man 2 from back in the day. While I don't have a box of Mega Man 2, I do have the cartridge. It looks like this. Kind of rattles a bit, but it does work, which is a good thing. Most important thing. You can play that on a proper Nintendo or equivalent clone system. Whoever stores... anyways, set that aside. Our usual logos. This is blank. More artwork. One at the bottom. Copyright rubbish. Use 3 AA batteries not included. Blah 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 blah. Sad onion. Recycle. Don't recycle. Or recycle. And there's the Capcom logo. We're looking for that. Not really. Anyways, well, might as well open this thing. I shall attempt to do so. We'll light this out. Oh, wrong one. What's this? We have paper instructions for Mega Man 2. Excellent. TV arcade setup is easy. Of course it is. Hey, they give you proper instructions at least. So you know how to play the game, which is nice and convenient. Bloop. Bloop. Tells you what you get from each enemy. So that's kind of nice. And I'm looking at the layout and I'm kind of nervous there. Anyways, let's pull this out. And here we are. We got some gimmicks we gotta remove. Excellent. Yep. Alright, so after... This is ingenious, though. It's through the little things. These little holes exist solely so you could have these wire things in the packaging so it could hold them firmly in place. It's a nice little security measure and a bit of anti-consumerism. Apparently they don't really want you to play this thing. Alright, go. So after what seems like an eternity, we finally got everything out. So you got your... Actually, you know what? This feels a bit firmer than the other ones. The other ones felt a lot looser. This one feels a bit firmer. It's still not fantastic, but yeah. So yeah, that's your A button. That's your B button, which means this is jump and this is shoot, which means it's going to be really, really awkward to control. And yeah. Anyways, I'm going to plug it up. Well, actually, I'm going to clear this mess. I'm going to find batteries. I'm going to plug this up and I'm going to play it. And yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're playing. Got Mega Man 2 on there. It's got some more Mega Man 2 on there. It's got some more Mega Man 2 on there. And it's got a screw in the battery compartment, because of course it does. It has two little feet, so you can put it on the table. It's nice and comfortable. I'm probably not going to do that. And of course, your one video, your one audio, mono. That's why they suggest you play it on a CRT TV, because that's what it was made for. So, if you're expecting HDMI out from this thing, I don't know what to tell you. Anyways, I'm going to give this thing a shot, and yeah, that's it. Alright, so we got this Mega Man plug and play thing. We got this Frogger thing that doesn't work. Now the joystick here feels a bit looser, really clicky and all that. Also, it's got a B and A button, even though Frogger, you don't really need those buttons. This you got the Mega Man 2, which closer inspection, layout's a bit different. So the buttons are flipped. Buttons are a lot firmer, and so is the stick. It's not as loose, it's a little tighter. So it's not like this. If it were like this, then I'd be worried. I still haven't played it, by the way. I still have to swap the batteries. But yeah, it's a little tighter. I don't think it's going to be fantastic still, but hey, you know what? The build quality is slightly better. Although this is a little more raised. It's got two little feet. So that's going to be a thing. Anyways, I'm going to swap the batteries, plug it up, turn it on, and yeah, we're going to give this thing a shot. Here we go.
So this is Mega Man 2 on a cheap-ass plug-and-play system, though admittedly this does feel a bit sturdier than the last couple of units, so maybe quality control was a little more on the ball when it came to this particular model. In any event, much like the previous two systems we've looked at in this lineup, this is a plug-and-play NES on a chip system with a game built in, which means longtime fans will notice the colors and sound quality being less than perfect compared to playing this on a proper Nintendo Entertainment System. One could argue this would look better if you played this on an actual CRT television, as the box advertises, and as someone who has played a bunch of Famiclone systems of subpar quality in the past, I can tell you that subpar NES cloning is subpar NES cloning regardless of what TV you're using. The Mega Man 2 game featured here has a couple minor changes, mostly a couple new splash screens at the beginning and some changes in copyright information, but otherwise, functionally speaking, is the same game everyone has played and loved since the dawn of time. Allegedly. Since this is the American version, you do have the two skill settings. Normal, where everything takes half as many hits to die, and Difficult, which is the default Mega Man difficulty. Since this is just an NES ROM on an NES clone hardware, for lack of a better term, there's nothing in the way of save states or aspect ratios or anything of the sort, but you do have passwords and they're the same as the NES original, so if you have any passwords left over, they'll work here. As to how the game plays, the most positive thing I could say about this Mega Man 2 unit is that it is somewhat playable. The controls are responsive for the most part, the buttons do work, and I found I was able to play through a good chunk of the game, albeit not without some issues. If you're coming into this expecting the same kind of precision control you'd get playing this with a traditional Nintendo gamepad or equivalent, then turn back now because that's not what you're getting here. The joystick on this thing might not be as loose or cheap as the other two units, but it still isn't ideal for a side-scrolling platformer like Mega Man that requires some precision reactions in certain situations. Also, the fact that the fire and jump buttons are flipped as well as the way the actual physical buttons are positioned on the device makes this less comfortable to play with, much less after extended periods of time. I will give MSI credit where it's due. Mega Man 2 was given better, sturdier hardware that felt like a more refined product than something that could fall apart at any moment. A fear I had the first time around, and something that actually did happen the second time around. And like I said, this thing is somewhat playable with a couple caveats. Had it been released about a decade or so ago, it would have been a hot seller, but in 2019, where Mega Man 2 is anywhere and everywhere these days, this is more of a novelty than anything, and that's really all I've got to say, so let's get back to the couch.
Okay, so we're going to forego the usual setup. I've already put away the tripod. We're just going to do this handheld, and we're going to try and get this over with as quickly as possible because I got to go to bed. I've already done like multiple takes of this one scene, so let's hope this is the last one. In any event, this is the Mega Man 2. That was what you've looked at, was the Mega Man 2 plug-and-play device from MSI. And as, you know, for the most part, you know, final verdict, it's better than I expected. I'll tell you that much. The joystick function, nice, a little more sturdier than the other units that I've played, which is greatly appreciated. Still not as precise as a D-pad would be, but it works the way it's supposed to, and that much I can appreciate. The buttons work. They function well enough, even if the inputs are flipped. It's supposed to be like, anyways, that's neither here or there. You know what? It's not bad. Like I said before, had it been released around the 2000s, like 10 years ago or something like that, it would have had its place in the annals of something. You know, it would have had its place like 10 years ago in the 2000s, or even, you know, whenever the early plug-and-play craze broke out, or whatever the case may be. But nowadays you have plenty of other options to play Mega Man 2, and this is not the most ideal of them. You got Mega Man Legacy Collection for the various consoles. You have plug-and-play systems like the NES Classic Edition, if you could find it, or hell, even the Legends Flashback console from AtGames has a surprisingly decent running version of Mega Man 2, which shocked the hell out of me, but, you know, that's another story for another time. Or you could go old school and, you know, grab a copy of Mega Man 2, the game cartridge, and old school NES console or equivalent clone system, of which there's a variety of, the Retrons or the analogs or whatever the case may be. This is more of a novelty item, something that you just buy and, you know, some a curiosity piece or something like that. I don't know, not the right word for it, but you know what? If you had no other options to play Mega Man 2, this ain't too bad. It's not great. It's not fantastic. It's probably not ideal, but it does work. Works well enough. Works better than I would have expected. And you know what? Fine by me. So, yep, that's it. I'm going to bed. Thanks for watching. Take care. Good night.